Hello there, and welcome to another one of these Lexical Lab 1 minute English videos. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out our website www.lexicallab.com to find out more about our online courses. One of my students had been living in Ukraine for 16 years, up until the war started. She was actually originally Russian, but married a Ukrainian and had been living there. And then the war started, and along with her child, she fled the country and has ended up in Maidstone in Kent in England, living with a host family down there. And in class the other day, she was talking about how different English people were to the way she'd expected us to be. Perhaps, like a lot of you, she had this stereotype of English people being a bit cold and distant, a bit reserved, and she'd been pleasantly surprised to find that we were, as she put it, much more emotional and expressive than she had imagined. In response to this little story, I smiled and said, well, we have our moments. If you say that someone has their moments, you mean that sometimes they excel. Sometimes they do better than usual. For me, I know that not all English people are like this all the time. And although I'm pleased that my student has had this experience, I know that it's not necessarily particularly representative of every person in the country as a whole. So, we have our moments. Yeah, sometimes on a good day, some people can be like this. In the same way, you might say that the film had its moments, but overall, I found it a bit dull. In other words, it was good in places, but generally a bit boring. You might be discussing someone with a friend of yours, and you might say, look, I know you don't like him very much, but trust me, he does have his moments. Sometimes he can be very entertaining. Sometimes he can be a really nice person. Again, you might be discussing a release by an artist or a musician, and you might say something like, yeah, the new album's not as good as the last album they did, but it has its moments. It has some good points, some good songs. We also often use it to kind of downplay achievements, to sound a bit more modest. So someone might compliment you on one of your children and say, oh, your daughter's so talented. Wow, she has her moments, you might reply, because you don't want to sound too big-headed. You want to acknowledge the fact that your child isn't always that talented or creative or perfect. If you've enjoyed this video, please do click the like button below, the thumbs up sign. It helps other people find out about what we do. Please do share it with your friends, your students and your colleagues. And in the comment section below, we'd love to see examples of how you might use have your moments.